Okay, so in this video I want to go over kind of a sensitive topic. One is that RFK is now looking in about the psychotropic meds and whether they're involved with the shooting, the most recent one. And as this came out last week, I remembered another book that I read that was a long time ago, but written by a medical historian named Harris Coulter. And he wrote the book, it's called Vaccination, Social Violence, and Criminality. The medical assault on the American brain. So excellent book, very well documented. This guy was not a medical professional, but a PhD historian, and he researched things inside out, upside down. And in here, he talked about, which I just went over with my staff this morning, that in the mid-1950s, a decade after the emergence of autism, medical science and the public became aware of a spreading disorder among school children called hyperactivity. So this is 1950s. The U.S. Public Health Service in 1963 listed nearly 100 signs and symptoms with hyperactivity and altered the name to minimal brain dysfunction. He likes to call it minimal brain damage. And he went through, and then in 1971, Paul Wiedner, leading authority, wrote that this is a major issue now. By 1984, professor at the pediatrics of Yale Medicine said minimal brain damage is perhaps the most common and certainly one of the most time-consuming problems. It'll be 5 to 10 times more frequently in boys than girls. And then they tried to classify it. What he also said was there's a lot of other these less, we'll call them soft neurological issues that kids were showing. And everything from mental retardation to seizures, cerebral palsy, hard and soft neurological signs and other disabilities which did not readily fit into the behavioral or emotional categories. He went on to say also that there can be many other things that can show up with this, from epilepsy to tics, tremors, coriform, which is twisting movements, facial grimaces, infantile spasms, and other. You can have other signs that there's subclinical neurological disorders, including EEG abnormalities, muscles, hypertonia or hypotonia, poor handwriting, inability to balance, poor visual motor coordination, clumsiness, awkwardness, impaired hopping ability, and a tendency to walk on one's toes. And then he goes into specifically on becoming violent and having all kinds of other aggressive behaviors. So this is documented from a long time ago. And now we're going to start looking into this to say, hey, what's going on here? So I don't know, maybe we need to look even deeper than RFK is looking, but I think we're moving in the right direction. If you want to get more information, go to Neuro-biomedicine health systems.com.